Good night, Gorilla, says Mr. Zookeeper. And Gorilla takes his keys. Gorilla lets himself out and follows Mr. Zookeeper. Yeah, he's holding on to the keys. Good night, Elephant, says Mr. Zookeeper. Yeah, there's a ball in there. And Gorilla takes the keys and lets Elephant out. Good night, Lion, says Mr. Zookeeper. Yeah, Lion goes roar. And Gorilla lets Lion out. Good night, Hyena. Good night, Giraffe. And Gorilla lets Giraffe and Hyena out. All the animals are following Mr. Zookeeper. Mr. Zookeeper lets one more animal out. Good night, Armadillo. And Gorilla lets Armadillo out. All the animals walk quietly from the zoo and follow Mr. Zookeeper into his house. They want to get a warm, safe place tonight to sleep. They walk into Zookeeper's house and Giraffe has to bend his long neck. That's a giraffe has to bend his long neck to get in the door, huh? All the animals find a warm, safe spot. And Gorilla gets on the bed. And he goes like this. Good night, dear, says Mrs. Zookeeper. And all of a sudden, good night, 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 she hears. And then, those just her eyes. Is it dark? Dark in there. So she turns on the light. Yeah, that's night, 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 night. Yeah, oh. She turns on the light. And she sees Gorilla and all the animals around her. She says, "You animals, you got to get back to the zoo." She marches all those animals right back to the zoo. Good night, Zoo, Mrs. Zookeeper says. But little does she know, Gorilla's following her with Mousie. Gorilla got the keys again. Mrs. Zookeeper says, "Good night, dear." Mr. Zookeeper says, "Good night." And Mouse says, "Good night, Gorilla." And Gorilla goes, "You do it."
Funny little guy.
Good night, Gorilla. Put Gorilla back. Put Gorilla back. Cuddles.
You want to read Cuddles?
Why don't you read this to Daddy? Read this one.
Come. You want to read Cuddles? Want to sit? Sit. Sit. I cuddle you because we have so much fun rolling in the mud. You give a kiss? Mwah. Yeah. I cuddle you because you take me for a lovely, cool swim. I cuddle you because, yeah, the elephant. You keep me safe wherever we go. Let's wah wah. I cuddle you because You take me for a fun run in the park.
Dog, dog.
Yeah, what sound does a dog make? Woof, woof. I cuddle you because you share these tasty leaves with me. What is this?
This.
That's a koala.
This.
What's that?
My good.
What's that?
Look.
Buck, buck, buck. I cuddle you because you help us when we're learning to fly. Hug, hug. Oh. What sound does an owl make?
Wow.
It says, hoo, hoo. Hoo, hoo. Hey, hey. Yeah. That's an owl. The end.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, dogs. Mwah. Do another book.
It's time to go night.
Did the baby talk? Do this one. Come. Come sit.